This feels oddly similar to the summer of 2024, but it's not the summer of 2024. And unfortunately, there seems to be this echoing of sentiment. These are two comments that are actually spaced about 8 months apart. One from this morning, one from back in the fall, right before ADA began to heat up. And they carry some very similar weights. People are fearful. People are uncertain. They are doubtful that anything is going to happen. And basically the connotation on this is that people think all hope is lost and that we're not going to make up ground. But guys, we need to remember something. The embrace for crypto is bigger than ever. We're not dealing with the same crap that we were dealing with last summer. And what that means is, again, a lot of people are going to get caught and left on the sidelines. Now, what I will say here is ADA has not been crap, like some people would like to say, some people would like to insinuate. And frankly, ADA is one of the few assets in the space that did not set a new swing low following February 3rd. Really think about that, right? Largest liquidation event we had in crypto history, followed by tariffs and war and largest exchange hack ever. But yet ADA did not set a new low. Guys, that's resilience. That's conviction. And maybe this changes as we make our way forward here. Who knows, right? But what I will say is that is a good sign. And a lot of that probably has to do with the developments that have been made during this time. Obviously, we've hit an era of full decentralization. We have big advancements that have been made in terms of Hydra. There's Bitcoin OS that's coming online. Obviously, there are now big discussions about potential stablecoins entering the ecosystem. We're expanding our reach. We obviously just talked about earlier today, entering the base network. Guys, there are some big steps in terms of progress that are being made by ADA at this time. And what you need to know, the reason why ADA has not set a new all-time high, the reason why most have, one, is because sentiment has been garbage. But secondly, guys, ADA tends to perform its best when there's new capital entering the crypto market. That hasn't been happening, all right? Yes, from the people here currently, sure, but we've not been seeing new adoption. When you think about the people that are in this space, most people, they have their minds set on what assets they're getting. Me personally, I've actually expanded. I bought, more assets than I've ever had. I bought some new stuff. I bought DMC yesterday. I picked up some Pepe like a week or so ago. I've added some other assets. I've just been rounding out in a bunch of different sectors. But for the most part, the people that are in certain spots are going to stay in certain spots, regardless of what happens with Cardano, unless there are some big things that are truly taking place that are you cannot overlook. For example, take a look back in March. What did we have? Big announcements surrounding the crypto reserve assets. We saw a lot of people flood into ADA that had never been in ADA before. It's why ADA, out of the 5 reserve assets that were announced, was the best performer of all of them. Wasn't the largest market cap, wasn't the smallest market cap, kind of in the middle, and yet it did the best. So people need to think about these things. That's where we're at currently. The biggest thing we need is new adoption and new capital to hit the crypto market. What I will say here, guys, is we're doing something very similar to what we did last summer into the fall, right before things got exciting. Okay. Now it's a question of, how high does USDT dominance get? We still have so much capital sitting on the sidelines. We haven't really had this, extended breakdown yet. And it's a question of, hey, do we get some more fearful stuff going on that causes us to surge higher here? Or are we actually building this head and shoulders right now? Here's that left shoulder. Here's the head. Do we get a little bit of a wick back up and retest this basically 4.95% USDT dominance level before dropping back down? Right? Those are some of the questions that we need to ask ourselves and just be aware of here. Guys, as tough as it seems, we're not dealing with major entities in the space unloading. That's one big difference from last summer. All right. Last summer, we dealt with the German government dumping. We had Mt. Gox uncertainty. We had FTX distribution questions. We had the government actively pushing back against crypto. There were all these things. Now we have, we're not really dealing with a whole lot, right? They're loud in namesake, but not loud in actual impact. Tariffs, kind of been a nothing burger. It's been loud here in 2025, but have they really affected anything? No. War abroad, right? Loud noise, has it really affected anything? No. Quantum computing. Nope, hasn't really affected anything, right? Largest liquidation event ever. Didn't really affect anything. Largest exchange hack ever. wasn't really much of an anything burger. I hope everybody is getting what I'm trying to say here is a lot of this that we've dealt with here in 2025 has been hollow noise. It has had no substance to it whatsoever. And a lot of it, I think, has had to do with, the manipulation like we talked about, trying to shake out the crypto market. There's a reason that we're seeing huge addition taking place. And I know we talk about it a lot, but guys, enterprises are buying in huge ways. Again, Q1 this year was one of the largest quarters of crypto accumulation we've seen in history. Actually, I think it was the largest quarter in history. Institutional accumulation just accelerating to no end, right? I don't know why people keep overlooking these things. You are being robbed blind right now if you are thinking that we're going to see just, some people saying that we're going to go down to the bear market lows, like 20 some cents. Guys, it's probably not happening. All right. And this isn't to guarantee your financial advice or anything like that, but they're doing whatever they can do to shake you out before things get exciting, right? Before they basically allow the adoption to take place once again. I don't mean to ramble on in this video. I got a lot of things on my mind here, but the point I'm trying to make is, guys, this isn't last summer. This isn't where ADA's buried deep. The cat's kind of out of the bag. People are aware of what's going on, but you haven't had people push the buy button yet. You haven't had the capital flock back to the space yet. And I think this is where, people saying that, I don't see how ADA's going to get to $2. It's very simple. It has been very consistent. Guys, we have seen insane levels of accumulation and hoarding when it comes to ADA. And the biggest problem that we've had in the space is there has not been enough demand from the people outside the space. There has not been enough demand from the people inside the space. Okay, that is what moves price. Then you can start talking about supply shock. You can start talking about the limited supply going on that ADA has, that some other assets in the space are dealing with here as well. But demand is what moves price. And frankly, right now, people don't care. And that's okay. We will get to a time where they do care, whether that's a week from now, whether that's a month from now, whatever it may be. Sometimes all you need is just a little bit of push and things can accelerate very quickly, just as they did back here in the fall, just as they did back to start the bull market cycle in October, just as they did back here in late February as we went on a big run for ADA once again. So that's all I have to say to you guys. We don't need to fall for the narrative, the loud noise right now, because there's going to come a point where it doesn't matter, where it was nothing, where it was just a consolidation period in this long road of exciting times that we have ahead of us. So I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.